What if a single simple habit could change the way you feel about yourself every single day? What if it only took 5 seconds to shift your mindset from doubt, negativity, or exhaustion to confidence, motivation, and self-love? Imagine starting every morning not with a struggle, but with a high five to yourself. A small but powerful act that rewires your brain to believe you're worthy, capable, and ready for anything. Welcome to The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins, a book that cuts through the noise of complicated self-help strategies and delivers one straightforward, actionable habit that anyone can do. This isn't about willpower or motivation that fades after a day. It's about building a daily ritual that rewires your self-talk, boosts your confidence, and empowers you to take control of your life, one high five at a time. In this audiobook summary, we'll explore why this simple gesture works, how to make it a lasting habit, and the science behind why celebrating yourself matters so much. If you're ready to stop feeling stuck, stop doubting your worth, and start stepping into the life you deserve, this summary is your first step. So get ready to raise your hand, give yourself a high five, and unlock the confidence to change your life, starting today. The High Five Habit. Take Control of Your Life with One Simple Habit by Mel Robbins is a powerful and uplifting guide that challenges us to rethink how we treat ourselves every day. In a world where negativity and self-doubt can easily take over, Robbins introduces a remarkably simple yet transformative practice: giving yourself a high five. Sounds too simple? That's exactly the point. Mel Robbins, best-selling author and motivational expert, reveals how this small act of self-encouragement can rewire your brain, boost your confidence, and help you break free from the cycles of procrastination, fear, and self-criticism that hold so many people back. The High Five Habit isn't just a feel-good tip. It's a practical tool grounded in neuroscience and psychology, designed to help you take control of your mindset and create lasting change. At its core, the habit is about celebrating yourself, acknowledging your efforts, and reminding yourself daily that you are worthy of support and kindness, starting with your own hand. Robbins shows how this simple gesture can build momentum for better habits, improve your relationships, and shift your inner dialogue from doubt to empowerment. This book is more than just a self-help manual. It's an invitation to start a conversation with yourself that fuels motivation, resilience, and self-love. Whether you're struggling with confidence, motivation, or simply want a fresh way to boost your mental well-being, the High Five Habit offers a clear, actionable path forward. Here at Detailed Book Summaries, we distill life-changing books like this into focused, easy-to-digest summaries that you can apply in your life immediately. Our goal is to help you unlock your potential and live with greater purpose, one habit at a time. If you're ready to change the way you talk to yourself, build new positive habits, and take control of your life with one simple, powerful habit, then keep listening. Thumbs up. Be sure to like this video to show your support. White heavy check mark. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring summaries that help you grow. Outbox tray and share this video with someone who could use a little more encouragement today. Now let's explore the key insights from the High Five Habit, summarized for you by Detailed Book Summaries. Chapter 1. The Power of the High Five Habit. Changing your life one simple gesture at a time. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, groggy and maybe a little skeptical about the day ahead. You catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and boom, you give yourself a high five. Sounds simple, almost silly, right? But here's the kicker. That small, seemingly trivial act has the power to rewrite your self-talk, reshape your confidence, and flip your mindset from doubt to unstoppable. In Chapter 1, Mel Robbins introduces us to the essence of the High Five Habit, a straightforward yet profoundly effective daily practice. The habit? Literally giving yourself a high five in the mirror every day. It's not just about the physical gesture but what it symbolizes. Self-recognition, self-acceptance, and the declaration that you are worth celebrating. This isn't just a gimmick or a feel-good trick. Robbins dives deep into the science behind why this works. When you give yourself that high five, you're activating neural pathways in your brain that strengthen self-confidence and positive reinforcement. You're literally rewiring your brain to shift away from negative self-talk and limiting beliefs that hold you back. The High Five Habit challenges the ingrained cultural norm of waiting for validation from others. Instead, it flips the script. You become your own biggest supporter. And that shift? It's game-changing. Because when you start showing up for yourself in small ways, the ripple effects touch every corner of your life. from your relationships to your career, to your mental health. Robbins also highlights the common struggles so many people face: the habit of self-sabotage. We are often our harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards and beating ourselves up over every misstep. The high five habit cracks open a new way forward. It's about kindness to yourself, about recognizing that you deserve encouragement just as much as anyone else does. What's so refreshing about this habit is its accessibility. You don't need special equipment, hours of practice, or a complicated routine. You simply need to commit, to pause, look in the mirror, and celebrate the person staring back at you. That simple act becomes a powerful daily checkpoint, grounding you in self-worth and purpose. By the end of this chapter, Robbins leaves us with an empowering invitation to start right now. No waiting for Monday, no need to be in the mood. Just stand before your mirror and give yourself that high five. The transformation might start small, but over time, it builds a foundation of confidence that can propel you toward your biggest goals. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or just plain down on yourself, Chapter 1 of the High Five Habit offers a lifeline. A small daily action that takes just seconds but can change your entire life trajectory. Chapter 2. The Inner Critic versus the High Five Habit: How to Silence Doubt and Boost Your Self-Talk. In Chapter 2, Mel Robbins dives into one of the biggest obstacles we face every single day: our inner critic. That relentless voice inside our heads that says, "You're not good enough. Who do you think you are? Or you'll never make it." You know the one. It's loud, persistent, and often downright cruel. What's wild is how much power we give that voice. We let it run the show, steering our decisions, crushing our confidence, and even keeping us stuck in comfort zones that no longer serve us. But here's where the high five habit comes in as a total game changer. Robbins explains that this inner critic isn't just a negative nuisance. It's actually part of a survival mechanism from our brain's evolutionary past. It's wired to keep us safe by warning us against risks, failures, and rejection. Problem is, in today's world, that mechanism often goes overboard, trapping us in self-doubt and fear. The high five habit interrupts this destructive cycle. When you literally give yourself a high five in the mirror, you're sending a clear message to your brain that you're worthy of encouragement, even celebration. It's a physical act that counters the mental chatter of negativity. Robbins highlights how the simple gesture creates a feedback loop. Your brain starts to associate your reflection, your authentic self, with positive reinforcement instead of criticism. Over time, this rewires your mindset from, "I'm not enough," to, "I'm worth celebrating." This shift might sound subtle, but its impact is profound. What's more, the habit empowers you to reclaim control over your inner dialogue. Instead of letting the critic dictate your mood or decisions, you learn to respond with kindness and support. It's like becoming your own personal coach, cheering yourself on when things get tough. The chapter also discusses the importance of consistency. The inner critic has been practicing its negative messaging for years, sometimes decades. Changing that narrative takes repetition, patience, and commitment. The high five habit is a small, manageable tool you can use every day to chip away at the noise. Robbins shares relatable stories of people who struggled with self-doubt, but found renewed confidence simply by committing to this daily act of self-recognition. These stories remind us that transformation doesn't require radical change overnight, just a small, steady shift in how we treat ourselves. By the end of Chapter 2, you're invited to take on the challenge of standing in front of your mirror, high-fiving yourself even when the inner critic tries to shout the loudest. Because every time you choose encouragement over doubt, you weaken the critic's grip and strengthen your confidence muscles. If you've ever felt held back by your own thoughts, this chapter is your roadmap to rewriting that story. It's a reminder that self-kindness isn't selfish, it's essential. Chapter 3. The Science Behind the Smile: How a Simple Gesture Changes Your Brain and Your Life. Chapter 3 takes us deeper into the fascinating science that makes the high five habit so powerful. Mel Robbins explains that when you lift your hand and give yourself a high five, even just in front of a mirror, you're not just making a fun gesture, you're actually triggering a physiological and psychological reaction that rewires your brain. First, let's talk about the science of the smile. Smiling activates the release of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that boost mood and reduce stress. What's incredible is that your brain doesn't distinguish much between a genuine smile and a practiced one. Even forcing a smile can lead to these positive chemical releases. So when you give yourself a high five combined with a smile, you're essentially hacking your brain's reward system. Robbins emphasizes that this physical action acts as an immediate signal to your subconscious, telling it, hey, this moment is worth celebrating. This counters the habitual negative self-talk or default mode that our brains tend to fall into, especially when facing stress or self-doubt. The chapter also explores how repeated positive reinforcement, through the high five habit, creates new neural pathways in the brain. This means your brain starts to expect positivity and success rather than failure and criticism. Over time, this rewiring strengthens your confidence and resilience. Another fascinating aspect Robbins covers is the role of body language in self-perception. Our posture and gestures affect how we feel inside. Think of the difference between slouching with your head down versus standing tall with your chest out. The high five habit incorporates an open, victorious posture that boosts your sense of power and readiness to face challenges. She also highlights how this habit helps interrupt the fight or flight response that triggers anxiety and fear. By choosing a positive physical cue, you can override stress reactions and anchor yourself in calm and confidence instead. What makes this chapter especially motivating is Robbins' encouragement to use the high five habit as a tool for daily mental training. Like physical exercise strengthens muscles, this habit strengthens your mental muscle, your ability to believe in yourself and your goals. Robbins shares stories of individuals who transformed their mindset and performance simply by integrating this simple act into their morning routine or moments of self-doubt. It's proof that sometimes the smallest actions can create the biggest ripples. By the end of Chapter 3, you're equipped with a deeper understanding of why the high five habit works, not just on a feel-good level but on a solid scientific foundation. And that makes it easier to commit to practicing it regularly, knowing you're literally reshaping your brain for success. Chapter 4. Breaking the Cycle. How the high five habit interrupts negative patterns. Chapter 4 zooms in on one of the biggest obstacles to personal growth: negative thought loops. Mel Robbins sheds light on how our brains get stuck in repetitive, self-defeating cycles that drag us down, like a broken record playing our worst fears, doubts, and criticisms on repeat. These cycles often run automatically, keeping us stuck in a mental rut without realizing it. But here's the game changer. The high five habit interrupts those harmful cycles. By raising your hand and giving yourself a high five, you create a physical break in the loop. It's like hitting the pause button on negative thinking. This simple, deliberate action jolts your brain out of autopilot and redirects your attention. Robbins explains that our brains are wired to respond strongly to novelty, new actions, or stimuli, especially physical ones. When you introduce the high five habit, it surprises your brain and forces it to shift gears. Instead of spiraling down into negativity, your mind focuses on this fresh, positive cue. The chapter also delves into the science behind habits and how our brains develop neural pathways to automate behaviors, both good and bad. Negative thinking patterns are just as habitual as brushing your teeth, but instead of cleaning you up, they dirty your mindset. The high five habit offers a simple, repeatable way to build a new pathway toward positivity. Mel shares practical tips for using the habit during moments of self-doubt, anxiety, or when facing setbacks. The key is consistency. By repeatedly practicing this small but powerful act, you retrain your brain to expect and generate optimism instead of negativity. She also emphasizes the importance of pairing the high five with affirmations or positive self-talk. Saying something like "I've got this" or "I am enough," while giving yourself a high five supercharges the effect, reinforcing new, empowering beliefs. By rewiring your brain to break free from negative cycles, you start building momentum toward a healthier mindset and greater self-confidence. It's not about ignoring problems, but about changing your internal response to them, shifting from resistance to resilience. Chapter 4 leaves you inspired to take control of your mental loops and replace them with habits that serve your growth and happiness. The high five habit becomes more than a gesture. It's a tool to disrupt the past hold on your present and open the door to new possibilities. Chapter 5. Building Momentum, Making the High Five Habit Stick. In Chapter 5, Mel Robbins tackles the crucial challenge of turning the high five habit from a one-off action into a lasting part of your daily routine. She knows that starting a new habit is only half the battle. Sticking with it is where most people stumble. Robbins lays out why momentum is the secret sauce to habit formation. When you consistently give yourself a high five, you build a positive feedback loop that fuels motivation and self-belief. Each high five is a small victory, and these wins add up, creating a powerful ripple effect throughout your life. But how do you keep that momentum alive, especially when life gets busy or discouraging? The chapter dives deep into practical strategies, setting clear intentions, pairing the habit with existing daily rituals, and using reminders or triggers to prompt the action. Mel stresses the importance of self-compassion too. You're not aiming for perfection but progress. Missing a day or two is normal. The key is getting back on track without judgment. This mindset helps prevent the all-or-nothing thinking that kills so many good intentions. The chapter also explores the psychological concept of identity-based habits. When you start to see yourself as someone who supports and encourages yourself, the high five habit becomes more than a tool, it becomes part of who you are. This identity shift is powerful because it roots the habit in your self-image rather than just an external motivation. Mel shares inspiring stories from people who transformed their lives by sticking with the high five habit, illustrating how small consistent changes can lead to big breakthroughs. She also offers tips on how to customize the habit so it feels authentic and meaningful to you. Whether it's a physical high five in the mirror, a mental one, or even sharing the practice with others. By the end of this chapter, you'll have a clear roadmap for integrating the high five habit into your life in a way that's sustainable and uplifting. It's about creating a foundation of positivity and self-respect that grows stronger every day, helping you tackle challenges with renewed energy and confidence. Chapter 6. Overcoming Doubt. Conquering your inner critic with the high five habit. Chapter 6 dives headfirst into one of the toughest battles many of us face every day. The voice inside that sows doubt, criticism, and negativity. Mel Robbins knows this inner critic well. That nagging, relentless chatter that tells you you're not good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. This chapter reveals how the high five habit acts like a shield against those toxic thoughts. When you pause to give yourself a high five, you interrupt the cycle of self-doubt and create a moment of positive reinforcement. It's a simple physical way to tell your brain, I see you. I appreciate you. You've got this. Robbins explains that this habit doesn't magically erase your inner critic, but weakens its power over time by strengthening your self-acceptance and confidence. She emphasizes that self-compassion is not about ignoring flaws or challenges. It's about standing firm in your own corner, no matter what. The chapter breaks down common forms the inner critic takes and how the high five habit counters each one. For example, when perfectionism creeps in, the habit reminds you to celebrate progress over perfection. When fear of failure looms, the habit reassures you that mistakes are part of growth. Mel also offers practical advice on spotting when your inner critic is active and how to quickly respond with a high five, turning a moment of negativity into one of empowerment. She encourages viewers to experiment and find their own rhythm, showing how flexibility in the practice can make it more effective. Throughout the chapter, personal stories highlight how powerful this simple gesture can be in rewiring your brain's default patterns, paving the way for greater resilience and mental toughness. By the end of Chapter 6, you'll understand that the high five habit isn't just about boosting mood. It's about rewiring your relationship with yourself, flipping the script from self-sabotage to self-celebration. Chapter 7. Building Momentum. How consistency supercharges your self-confidence. Chapter 7 focuses on the power of consistency and how repeating the high five habit daily can build unstoppable momentum in your self-confidence and overall mindset. Mel Robbins stresses that while a single high five feels good, the real magic happens when you make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. This chapter unpacks the science behind habit formation and explains why small, positive actions repeated over time lead to big transformations. Robbins reminds us that the brain craves patterns, and by consistently reinforcing positive self-talk through the high five habit, you create a new neural pathway, one that makes confidence and self-love the default settings. She shares practical tips on how to anchor the habit to daily activities, like brushing your teeth or checking your phone, so it becomes automatic. The key is removing friction. Make the habit easy to perform, no matter how busy or distracted you are. Mel also discusses the inevitable challenges that come with trying to be consistent, like missing a day or feeling unmotivated. She encourages viewers to ditch the all-or-nothing mindset and instead focus on getting back on track without guilt or judgment. Every high five counts, no matter how small. Real-life examples illustrate how people from all walks of life have transformed their confidence, relationships, and career trajectories simply by showing up for themselves every day with this simple act. The chapter concludes with an empowering message. Consistency isn't about perfection, it's about commitment. And with the high five habit as your daily ritual, you're steadily rewiring your brain to believe in your greatness, one high five at a time. Chapter 9, Building Momentum. How Consistency Creates Lasting Change. In Chapter 9, Mel Robbins focuses on the power of momentum and why consistency is the secret sauce behind any lasting transformation. She reveals that success doesn't come from one grand gesture, but from small, consistent actions stacked day after day. The high five habit is presented as a simple yet powerful tool to build that momentum. By starting each day with a high five to yourself, you set a positive tone that ripples through your thoughts and actions. It's like priming your brain to look for wins, however small, and to celebrate progress instead of perfection. Mel explains that momentum creates its own energy. The more you reinforce positive habits, the easier it becomes to keep going, even when motivation wanes. This chapter emphasizes how the high five habit builds a foundation of self-trust, the belief that you can count on yourself to show up and support your own growth. The chapter also tackles common obstacles to consistency, like burnout, setbacks, and the pressure to be perfect. Mel encourages embracing imperfection as part of the journey and using your high five to show compassion when things don't go as planned. Real-life examples illustrate how people have used consistent high five practice to overcome inertia, break bad cycles, and create meaningful shifts in their lives. The message is clear. Momentum is not magic. It's the product of persistent, daily commitment. By the end, viewers are challenged to commit to a 30-day high five streak, with Mel promising that this small daily habit will unleash a powerful wave of change in mindset, confidence, and resilience. Chapter 10, The Ripple Effect, How Your High Five Changes More Than Just You. In Chapter 10, Mel Robbins expands the scope of the high five habit beyond personal transformation and dives into its impact on relationships and communities. She explores how the simple act of giving yourself a high five each morning creates a ripple effect that influences the people around you in powerful ways. When you start your day by affirming yourself, your energy shifts. You become more present, more confident, and more empathetic, qualities that naturally improve your interactions with others. Mel highlights stories from readers who noticed their high five practice helped them break negative cycles of self-doubt, which in turn softened tension in their relationships and inspired those around them to try the habit themselves. This chapter also emphasizes the contagious nature of positivity. When you lead with self-acceptance and encouragement, it encourages others to do the same, creating a culture of support and empowerment. Mel stresses that changing your inner dialogue doesn't just elevate your own life. It changes the dynamics of your family, workplace, and social circles. Mel encourages viewers to share the high five habit with others, to make it a collective practice that strengthens bonds and builds communities rooted in kindness and growth. She reminds us that transformation starts from within but doesn't end there. The energy you cultivate inside spills outward in unexpected and beautiful ways. By the chapter's close, it's clear that the high five habit is not just a tool for individual empowerment, but a catalyst for positive change on a much larger scale. The invitation is to embrace your own worth daily and watch how that energy inspires and uplifts others around you. Chapter 11, Building Momentum, Turning a Simple Habit into Lasting Change. Chapter 11 dives into the crucial step of transforming the high five habit from a novel daily ritual into a powerful, lasting force in your life. Mel Robbins emphasizes that consistency is key. The magic happens not in 1 or 2 days of practicing your high five, but in the momentum you build over weeks and months. She breaks down the psychology behind habit formation, explaining how repetition wires new neural pathways in the brain, making positive self-talk and self-affirmation automatic over time. The chapter stresses the importance of making your high five non-negotiable, a daily appointment with yourself that you prioritize no matter what. Mel also addresses common obstacles, days when motivation dips or self-doubt creeps back in. She encourages embracing these moments without judgment, treating them as part of the process rather than reasons to quit. The key is to keep showing up, even when it feels hard. Practical tips for embedding the habit include pairing your high five with existing routines, using reminders and tracking progress to celebrate wins. Mel explains that the more you reinforce this simple act, the more it reshapes your self-perception, boosting your confidence and resilience. The chapter wraps up by highlighting how small daily actions compound into profound life changes. The high five habit, though seemingly small, becomes a foundation for sustained personal growth, helping you live with more intention, joy, and self-compassion. Chapter 12. Spreading the high five, impacting others and creating a culture of positivity. In Chapter 12, Mel Robbins shifts focus from personal transformation to the ripple effect the high five habit can have on those around you. She explores how your daily self-affirmation doesn't just change your own mindset, it also influences your relationships, work environment, and community. Mel illustrates how practicing the high five habit openly and authentically can inspire others to do the same. When you model self-compassion and confidence, you invite those around you to break free from negative self-talk and embrace their own worth. This chapter shares stories of individuals who have sparked positive change in families, teams, and organizations simply by adopting and sharing the high five habit. She also discusses the concept of creating a culture of positivity in workplaces and social groups by encouraging regular moments of encouragement and acknowledgement, high fives, compliments, and genuine support. This culture shift boosts morale, collaboration, and productivity, proving that a simple daily habit can have far-reaching benefits. Mel offers practical advice on how to introduce the habit to others without being pushy, through leading by example, sharing your personal journey, and creating safe spaces for people to practice self-affirmation together. The chapter reinforces the idea that change starts with one person, but grows exponentially when shared. By the end of Chapter 12, readers understand that the high five habit is more than a personal tool. It's a movement toward kindness, connection, and collective growth. It challenges you to not only improve your own life, but also to uplift others, multiplying the positive impact exponentially. Chapter 13, Maintaining Momentum, How to Keep the Habit Alive for Life. In Chapter 13, Mel Robbins tackles the challenge of sustaining the high five habit over the long haul. She acknowledges that starting a new habit can be exciting, but the real test lies in making it a permanent part of your daily routine. This chapter is all about strategies to maintain momentum and keep the habit alive, even when motivation dips or life gets hectic. Mel emphasizes the importance of commitment and consistency. She reminds readers that the high five habit is not a one-time fix, but a daily investment in self-love and resilience. To make it stick, she encourages tying the habit to existing routines, like doing it first thing in the morning, before meals, or right before bed, creating natural triggers that reinforce the behavior. She also explores the power of tracking progress, celebrating small wins, and being kind to yourself on tough days. When setbacks happen, and they will, Mel advises to avoid self-criticism and instead use those moments as opportunities to recommit. The chapter offers practical tips such as journaling about your high five experiences, using reminders, and even sharing your journey with a community for accountability. Mel stresses that building this habit is about cultivating a lifelong relationship with yourself, one high five at a time. By the end of Chapter 13, readers feel equipped not only to start the high five habit, but to sustain it as a powerful tool for ongoing personal growth and confidence. A simple yet profound practice that can transform their mindset every single day. Chapter 14. Overcoming Resistance, Dealing with Doubt, Criticism, and Setbacks. Chapter 14 dives into one of the biggest obstacles anyone faces when trying to adopt a new habit like the high five: resistance. Mel Robbins doesn't sugarcoat the fact that doubting yourself, facing criticism from others, and encountering setbacks are inevitable parts of the process. She starts by addressing the internal voice of doubt, that nagging feeling that you don't deserve success or happiness, or that the habit won't actually help. Mel encourages readers to acknowledge those thoughts without giving them power, reminding us that self-doubt is a natural human experience but not a fact. She suggests using the high five habit itself as a tool to counter negative self-talk in these moments. Next, she tackles external resistance, such as skepticism or criticism from friends, family, or coworkers. Mel points out that often, People resist change because it forces them to face their own insecurities. She advises standing firm in your commitment and gently educating others about why this habit matters to you, without needing their approval. Setbacks and plateaus are also explored. Mel reassures readers that progress is rarely linear and that stumbling is part of growth. The key is resilience, getting back on track quickly and treating mistakes as learning opportunities rather than failures. Throughout the chapter, Mel provides actionable strategies to reframe resistance, stay motivated, and protect your momentum. She reinforces that overcoming resistance isn't about eliminating it completely, but learning how to move through it with grace and determination. By the end of chapter 14, readers understand that resistance is not a sign to quit, but a signal to dig deeper. The high five habit becomes not just a practice of self-love, but a powerful tool for building grit and perseverance in the face of challenges. Chapter 15. Living Your Best Life. Creating Lasting Change Beyond the Habit. Chapter 15 brings everything together by focusing on the bigger picture, how the high five habit can transform your entire life beyond just daily motivation. Mel Robbins emphasizes that the habit is more than just a simple action. It's a catalyst for lasting change in mindset, behavior, and self-perception. She explains how consistently practicing the high five builds a foundation of self-acceptance and confidence, which naturally leads to better decisions, improved relationships, and greater fulfillment. The habit rewires your brain to seek positivity and resilience, making you less reactive to stress and more proactive in pursuing your goals. Mel also encourages readers to take ownership of their lives by combining the high five habit with other empowering routines, like journaling, mindfulness, and goal setting, to create a holistic approach to personal growth. The chapter highlights stories of people who use the high five habit as a springboard to major life changes, showing that small daily actions can lead to extraordinary transformations over time. Finally, Mel challenges readers to commit fully to living their best lives by embracing self-love, courage, and persistence. The high five habit isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong practice that can unlock your potential and help you become the person you're truly meant to be. By the end of this chapter, readers are left inspired and equipped to take the habit beyond just a daily ritual, making it a core part of their identity and path to lasting happiness. The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins is a powerful reminder that the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for everything in your life. In a world where self-criticism is constant and confidence often feels out of reach, this book introduces one simple, science-backed habit that can transform your mindset, giving yourself a high five in the mirror every morning. Through personal stories, psychological research, and real-life examples, Mel Robbins explains how this small, intentional act rewires your brain, boosts your mood, and builds unshakable self-belief. It's not just about motivation. It's about creating a deep emotional connection with yourself, celebrating your efforts, and showing up with courage and compassion every day. Whether you're struggling with self-doubt, low energy, or lack of motivation, the High Five Habit gives you a practical, empowering tool to interrupt negative thought patterns and start each day with purpose and positivity. This summary was brought to you by Detailed Book Summaries. If you found this summary helpful, don't forget to like, drop a comment sharing your biggest takeaway, and subscribe to our channel for more powerful book summaries on personal growth, mindset, and motivation. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment of inspiration.